So, have you ever stopped to wonder what really makes a relationship fall apart? I mean, we always picture some huge, dramatic fight, right? Like an explosion. But the truth? Well, the truth is usually a lot quieter. And honestly, it's way more sinister. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on these silent architects of relationship failure. Let's dive in.
So yeah, that's the big question, isn't it? Why do most relationships fail? People have been trying to figure this out forever. And what's wild is that the answer, it's not what you think. It's almost never about one single catastrophic event.
The reality? It's not that big bang. It's a slow erosion. Seriously, think about it like this. Picture water dripping on a rock. You know, one single drop doesn't do a thing. But millions of drops over years and years, that can carve a freaking canyon. And that's exactly what happens in our relationships.
So that's what we're going to call this process, the slow erosion. We're going to dig into how these tiny little actions, things you might not even notice, these micro behaviors, can just silently eat away at the foundation of a relationship until there's nothing left.
Okay, so what are these micro behaviors exactly? Well, they're the little repetitive habits that, honestly, we probably don't even see ourselves doing. But when you put them all together, man, they act like acid, just slowly, methodically dissolving the trust and connection that holds the whole thing together.
All right, it's time to meet the culprits, the architects of this destruction. We're about to unmask the 10 specific behaviors that are so good at silently dismantling a relationship right from the inside out.
And here they are, the whole lineup. You could call this the rogues gallery of relationship killers. And as you can see, it covers a lot of ground. You've got things like stonewalling, which is basically emotional abandonment, all the way to keeping score, which turns your partner into your opponent. Now, we're not going to have time to break down every single one, but we are going to zoom in on a few of the absolute worst offenders.
So let's start with the big one. According to Dr. John Gottman, and this guy is like the leading expert on relationships, there is one behavior that stands head and shoulders above all the rest as the #1 predictor of divorce. And what is it? It's contempt.
So what even is contempt? Because it's not just being angry. No. This is different. This is expressing actual disgust. It's that mockery, you know, that biting sarcasm, the eye rolling. It's when you act like you're somehow better than your partner. And here's why it's so deadly. It absolutely demolishes the psychological safety you need for a relationship to even survive, let alone thrive.
Okay, let's talk about another classic, defensiveness. You know the drill. Your partner brings up a problem, and instead of hearing them out, you immediately jump to making excuses, or even worse, blaming them. The flip side of that, the healthy way, is just taking responsibility, actually listening and owning your part in it. It's so simple, right? But one path just stops a conversation dead in its tracks, and the other actually opens the door to fixing things.
All right, let's get into another one. Keeping score. Oh, this one is sneaky. It almost always starts with something super small. Imagine your partner says, "Hey, you forgot to do the dishes again." A totally normal thing, right? But the response, it has nothing to do with the dishes. Instead, the fight suddenly becomes about that one thing you did or forgot to do way back in 2018. That is keeping score. It's when you collect all these past mistakes and save them up like ammunition, just waiting to use them in the next fight. And just like that, a simple chat about dishes turns into an epic battle over years and years of old wounds.
And believe me, the list goes on. You've got the slow fade. That's when your phone gets more attention than your partner day after day. Or lack of we-ness, like making a massive decision about your lives without even mentioning it to them. And of course, stonewalling, the silent treatment, which just makes your partner feel like they don't even exist. You see, each one feels like a tiny paper cut, but man, do they add up.
Okay, so we've seen the what, all these destructive habits. But now for the really interesting part, the why. What's actually driving all this? Let's dig down to the psychological core of it all and figure out what the hidden motive really is.
So really, think about it. What makes a person do these things? Why would someone use contempt or keep score? Are they just a bad person? Is it pure malice? Well, the answer might actually surprise you. Here it is. The root cause almost every single time is self-protection. It's a defense mechanism. It's this deep, often subconscious attempt to shield our ego from feeling hurt or rejected or vulnerable or, just admitting that maybe, just maybe, we were wrong.
And here's the tragic irony. In that desperate scramble to protect ourselves, to protect our ego, we end up starving the very connection we want so badly.
the armor we put on to avoid getting hurt. It's the exact same thing that blocks love from getting in.
So, where does that leave us? What's the solution here? The key takeaway is all about a fundamental shift. It's about consciously choosing to move away from self-protection and move towards connection.
Okay, so if you're going to remember anything from this, let it be these points. First, these destructive habits, they're usually a shield, not a sword. Second, the real fight isn't you versus your partner. It's your own internal battle, self-protection versus connection. Third, just knowing this, just being aware of these patterns, that is a massive first step. And finally, remember this, healthy relationships aren't built on armor, they're built on vulnerability.
So, I'll leave you with this question to think about. Take a real, honest look at your own relationships. Are they truly built on a foundation of connection, or, maybe without even realizing it, are you letting those silent architects of self-protection build walls where there should be bridges?